All right, so I've got this story for you about a team, and I mean, these guys were really up against a wall, facing a challenge that felt pretty much impossible. But what they did next, well, it was this incredible transformation that led to, get this, a return on investment of over 1,000%. Yeah, you heard that right. This is Dave's story. And look, this slide right here, it basically tells the whole story at a glance. Think about it. A critical job that used to take them a grueling 16 hours, they slashed that down to under 5. That's just a game changer. So the big question is, how on earth did they do it? Let's get into it.
Okay, so first, we gotta understand the problem they were dealing with. That 16-hour number, it wasn't just, a minor headache. No, it was a massive bottleneck. It was causing this huge ripple effect. Delays, budgets blowing up. It was really crushing their productivity. So, who are we talking about here? Meet the team. This was an elite, 4-person asset management crew. We're talking about the best of the best, real experts, right? And they had 96 of these super comprehensive inspections to do every single year. But here's the kicker. Even with all that skill, they were always behind schedule. And the money situation, it was just spiraling out of control. 16 hours. That's the number. The one that was at the absolute heart of all their problems. Just try to imagine that, spending 2 full 8-hour workdays on just one inspection. Now multiply that by 96 inspections a year, the math is just staggering, right? The team was basically drowning. The whole process was completely unsustainable. And this wasn't just about numbers on a timesheet. This had real-world consequences. We're talking about an exhausted team, just totally burned out. Frustrated clients, who wouldn't be with all those delays? And a budget that was just bleeding cash from travel overages and all sorts of extra expenses. But here's where things start to change. This is the turning point in the story. See, instead of just trying to grind it out and push harder, they made a decision to work smarter. They started hunting for a real, modern, digital solution. Basically, a whole new way of doing things. And what they found was a piece of software called Adra Asset. So what is it? Well, to put it simply, it's a platform built for one thing, to make collecting all that complicated asset data on site way, way faster and more streamlined. Now, of course, this solution had a price tag. It was about $19,000 for the year. And yeah, I know, that might sound like a pretty big chunk of change. But just hang on to that number for a second. Because what they got back for that investment, well, that's where this whole story gets absolutely wild. The change was, well, it was instant. And honestly, revolutionary. That same team, the one that was taking 2 whole days for one inspection, they can now document 100 complex assets flawlessly in just 4 hours. That bottleneck we talked about, it wasn't just fixed, it was completely shattered. So this is what we're calling the ROI revolution. They didn't just, plug the hole where money was leaking out. No, they turned it around and started generating huge real-world gains. Okay, look at this. This is really the heart of their success. On average, they were saving 70% of their time on every single inspection. 70%! That's more than 11 hours of expert-level time that they got back for each inspection. Time they could now use for stuff that actually adds more value. So, you might be wondering, what does all that saved time look like in actual dollars, in cold, hard cash? Well, it looks like this. Almost $250,000 in a single year. That's how much their expert labor was worth, the labor they clawed back from that old, inefficient process. Okay, so now let's take that number and subtract the cost of the software, right? You're still left with this, over $225,000 in pure net savings. That's money that went straight to the company's bottom line. And that brings us to the big one, the headline number, a return on investment of over 1,100%. I know, it's a number that's so high it almost sounds made up, but the math is actually really simple. This is just a perfect example of what happens when you find the exact right tool to fix your single biggest problem. And hey, if that ROI isn't already blowing your mind, check out how fast it all happened. The entire annual cost of the software, it paid for itself in the very first month. So from the get-go, this investment wasn't really a cost at all. It was a profit engine. But you know what? As amazing as all those numbers are, that's not even where the story ends. The real win, the true transformation, it went way beyond just the dollars and cents. And the source material on this is super clear. The real victory here wasn't just about the money, it was about completely changing how the team operated, and maybe more importantly, the kind of value they could now bring to their clients. So once they were freed from that grind of manual data collection, the team could finally focus on what actually mattered. Delays were gone, travel budgets were slashed, and now they could put their time where it really counted. Building stronger relationships with their clients and delivering those high values, strategic insights that, let's be honest, no machine is ever going to replicate. So I want to leave you with this question. Dave's story is such a powerful example of what the right tech can do, right? It really makes you think. If some tool could just magically give your team back 70% of their time, what amazing things would you have them do next?